Hello everyone, and welcome back to our Distant Worlds Universe Let's Play. This time around we are going to expand our military. So we're currently sitting at 5 colonies, 29 billion in population, and a really strong military strength there. So especially if we come in and have a look here and compare against the other colonies or other empires that we've come up against, we are quite a bit away in front of everybody else. And not taking into account the Ancient Guardians because they don't really matter at this stage of the game. So the Ricto Consortium here are the only ones that are sort of remotely close to us, and as we sort of discovered at end of last episode, they've colonised this planet over here. And the problem with this is that there are a couple of colonies of independent Gizureans over here, so here and here. We want to, actually there's 2 in this system as well, which is quite interesting. So there's actually 3 colonies all up that we definitely want to expand out to and colonize all of those planets. So because that's our native race anyway, they will join us quite easily and they'll be very happy about it. And it will give us a great boost for those colonies. They've already got existing populations on them. So 1.1 billion for that one, and 2.4 for that one, and 1 billion for that one. So it's going to give a really good boost for those colonies to start with, and result in increased taxes and things like that. So, but the problem, as I mentioned, is that because they've colonized this system and this independent system here is within their empire influence, we actually can't come and colonize this. So if we click into the planet here, it says colonize, no foreign territory. So that's the problem we've got there. And these 2 are too far away from our current colonies, and we are unable to colonize them as well. So basically what we're going to do is, some way or another, we are going to have to expand out to the right over here somewhere. So if there's a colony sort of down in this bottom right area, that would be good as well. But I think what's going to happen, we're probably going to have to take this planet here and take that and hold that as well. So they've actually taken that because it's got the bonus on here. So it's got an empire-wide happiness bonus of 10%. So even though it's not a very good quality planet, that's the reason they've gone for that. So in order to do that, we're going to expand our military, build some troop transports, and build up our armoured forces. So we're going to go into our homeworld here, and we're going to queue up some armoured forces here. And I think we might go for, say, perhaps 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We'll start off with 10, so that should be a pretty decent amount. And we'll build some troop transports soon. So recruiting troops like that does take a little bit of time. So it's sort of good to get those underway a bit early on before your ships are ready. So by the time your ships or your fleet's ready to go, they should be mostly done. So we got a notification just before that we've discovered another empire. I think we've actually come across these guys before, so maybe earlier on in the game. So they're not too much to worry about either. So definitely the Ricto over here are definitely going to be our biggest competitors at this stage of the game. So what we're going to do now, just have some research finished there, so we'll jump in and deal with that soon. What we're actually going to do is go into our troops screen over here and ungarrison all of our infantry. So we've got 3 units of infantry here. So we're going to ungarrison all of those and replace them with planetary defense units. So what we're going to do is come into our colony screen, come into here and go into troops and characters, and we can see if the units that our planet has. So what we're going to do is go here and just queue up a couple of planetary defense units for each planet. So that's their infantry, so we'll queue up a couple of defense. Same here. And these ones are building already. And we'll queue up some defense ones here. And then we'll just jump in here and do this quickly. And planetary defense, just select all of those and garrison them. So that should be good for now. So our planetary defense units are definitely stronger than infantry when defending, and they're basically useless for attacking. So we definitely want our armoured forces to be the spearhead that we use to invade planets. So we're going here and had our point defense weapons completed. So we'll be able to start fitting out some of our ships and our starports with some point defense ward off any fighters that may come into contact with us. Don't think we need any sort of infantry-based technology at the moment. I think we should be quite good for now. So I think most of these sort of next level is all about defense units generally, and sort of boarding attack strength here. So we not going to use boarding units or boarding pods in this game really, so we won't worry about too much about that. I'm thinking what I might do is jump up to the next level of armor, so high density alloys there, and that will give us, I believe, it will give us a new unit. So we'll have to retrofit all our starports and our ships, but that's okay. Give us a good boost because we're quite a fair way through, or decent way through in weapons. We actually queue up advanced blasters here. So sort of a tip if you're just starting out. Once you sort of get to this range, you start getting some options. So sort of through here, there's just sort of been one option, just one specific blaster or beam weapon. Once you sort of get up to here, you actually get a few different variants that you can start sort of customizing your ships or the way your weapon systems work a little bit more. So for the beam weapons here, we can actually sort of just go for the standard beam weapons if we want, or we can actually research long range lasers, high power, so more damage, and phased beams, which have a 10% targeting bonus against armor. So you can sort of start customizing your ships here a lot more easily as well if you like. And the same thing if we get into our hyperdrives, our next level of hyperdrives, actually the one after that, we can start getting some things like fast jump. So the jump initiation speed is a lot quicker, high speed, so increased speed, and more efficient, so they use less energy. So just something to sort of be aware of, or start planning your systems or your ships around those variants that you can sort of get. So jump to our fleets, our home fleet repaired. After we had a little battle over here with the pirate fleet, and this actually, now that I remember, we had the Iron Confederation starting to cause us quite a few problems, and they are quite powerful. So we may actually build up another fleet soon, and before we go and attack these guys, actually sort of attempt to come over here and perhaps take out this base. And taking out one of their spaceports will sort of do them quite a bit of a blow, and perhaps they'll have to move off somewhere else and leave us a little bit alone for a while. So we may actually build up another fleet, and I think before we do that, we're actually going to retro or fit out one of our capital ships and start building some capital ships into our new fleet. And we'll actually sort of split this up and add some capital ships into here just to make it a little bit more balanced, rather than having sort of just the one type of ship. So what we're going to do, actually before we do that, we've got have a new intelligence agent, which is good. We've been waiting for another one of those. So this one is sabotage, counter-espionage. So we're going to put this guy on counter-espionage as well. So it doesn't really have any sort of espionage or concealment traits here, so they're not going to be all that good about going out and finding out or spying on other empires. They're probably more likely to get caught. So we're just going to have two on counter-espionage, which is not such a bad thing. So the more we have here, the less likely it is that we're actually going to get attacked or have some of our valuable ships or bases sabotaged. So I have a mining station under attack over here. So this is the Iron Confederation again. So these guys are really quite starting to annoy me. So we're definitely going to go and do something about them. So I have our mining station here, 225 power, 4700 shields, and I think they should probably be okay. The only problem we're going to have is if they board, which I suspect they're going to. So we'll see what happens here, and they're sort of jumping in. Actually going to send our first fleet over. I don't think they're going to get here in time, but it's sort of a good thing to do. So if we can sort of take out some of these ships, it'll be good. And we'll sort of just keep an eye on this for the moment. So there's jumping, or they've had some more ships jumping in, so this base will definitely fall if our fleet doesn't get over here quite quickly. So offering us protection, and no, we're not going to take any of this. So as you see, our cash flow's dropping down a little bit. It's because we're spending a lot more money. So our first fleet's there, but we're actually going to lose that station. But hopefully we can take out some of these ships before that happens. And they're actually boarding it here, so if they board it, which they will, they'll take it over. We'll actually destroy that again. That's probably not really worth trying to take it back. So here's our first fleet, having the battle going on here. It's not really worth micromanaging anything at the moment. So we haven't lost any ships, and we've taken out quite a few of theirs. And if we have a look here, it doesn't look like any have gotten away. So Wrong screen. Jump in here. They had around 120 ships, I think, from memory. So we've destroyed at least 5, which is quite good. So it's a bit of a bonus. So what we're going to do is actually send those back, or send our first fleet back to be repaired at our spaceport over here. So we've only got one spaceport at the moment. So probably once we expand out, to this way, we're actually going to start building another couple of spaceports, just so our fleets don't have to come back to our home fleet every time to repair. We have another monetary gift here, offering protection. Nope. And so, where are we? We are going to come into our state ships and fit out one of our capital ships. So as I mentioned, I think a couple of episodes ago, what we're actually going to do with our capital ships is make them, don't need any more reactors actually, is to make them very, very beefy, so very strong, and make sure that they don't, not really a lot of chance that they get taken down. So I think our maximum size is 500 at the moment. So what have we got on here that is very large? We've got a lot of blasters, so 126 firepower. So actually we're going to take off a lot of those. At the moment we don't need as many reactors. Thrusters as well. I'm actually going to take off some thrusters, so it's probably generally not advisable to have your ships really slow. But for our capital ship, they're not really going to be doing a whole lot of moving around anyway, so it's not going to be really what they're about. They're sort of there to soak up damage, and most of the time with battles anyway, you're going to actually jump into the location of the battle, so you're not sort of going to be zooming around a system, sort of chasing things around, and if you do, then you're sort of not really doing it wrong anyway. So you can take off those to free up some space. It is quite slow, but that's okay. Habitation modules, how are we going there? We've got too many of those. So we'll take that down to 5, another one on. So we've got 600 shields, which is quite a bit. We might actually just add on one more if we can get away with it, which is 720. So that's a lot for a ship, especially with 300 armor. So they're going to have quite a bit of staying power. So all we've got at the moment is blasters and a few missiles. So we might actually add on a couple more missiles. We're not going to have on rail guns, but we are going to start putting on some point defense cannons, which is going to take on any fighters that we come across. They're quite small, so they don't take up a whole lot of room, which is fine. Add on another life support hub module, considering adding troop modules. So for some reason it thinks the game has this view that capital ships should be sort of troop ships or have some troop modules, but generally I prefer not to do that. I'd rather sort of fit this out just with weapons and defences, and then have our troop ships as purely just troops and use those for our invasion. So I actually build specific invasion fleets, so we'll sort of have like attack fleets, and then we'll have a specific invasion fleet with a few transports and then some defense or escort ships around it as well. So that's generally how I prefer to play the game, but you can play the game obviously however you like. So we're up to, got an energy collector, we've got more than enough reactor power, so I'm actually see if we can take another one off. Takes us down to 226, which is still enough. 166 isn't enough, so we'll put one back on. The 226 is definitely more than enough power, so we've still got another 26 space or size capacity to go. So we're only sitting at 100 firepower, which is not a great deal. So our frigates are up around the 170 mark. So what I might do, so what have we got? We've got blasters, concussion missiles, and point defense. I'm tempted to add on a fighter bay, but we don't have quite enough room, so it's actually 50. So I don't think it's probably going to be worth adding on other things, or taking off other things to actually fit on a fighter bay. So what I'm actually going to do is try and add on another level of shields, 484, which is up to 840. I may go a little bit crazy actually, and add on maybe some more blasters. Actually put on some more blasters. Probably the way to go for now. And might even just put on another whole stack of armor. So we're up to 360 armor, 840 shields, which is quite a lot for a ship, and still got 112 firepower, which is quite good. And definitely more than enough energy, hyperdrive, so that's all looking good. So what we're going to do now is actually going to build out another fleet. So we're going to build, we're actually going to take 5 frigates out of here into a new fleet. Actually we'll take out 7 as well, might as well. Just for the fun of it. So we'll sort by fleets. This is we need our first fleet. Sorry, this one here, first fleet. So what we're going to do is 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we can choose out 7 here. We're actually going to move those into a new fleet. And then what we're going to do go into here, into our spaceport. And now that I think about it, actually, we're going to upgrade our meeting spaceport to a large spaceport. So we probably should have done that a little while ago, but I just sort of forgotten about it. So what we're going to do now is queue up. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to fit out the first fleet. And might just put those in the fleet while we're here. So it'll be our first fleet completely fitted out there. And now what we're going to do, we're going to queue up. So if you just let the game run for a little bit, we've got our third fleet, 7 ships. So we're going to put this up to another, so we need another 6 frigates and then 7 capital ships. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 frigates, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 capital ships. Come into here and put all of these ones into our third fleet. Oops, third fleet. And that should be 20 there as well. So actually, first fleet, what have we done there? We've taken some out. That's right, we just put those back into first fleet. Actually, do we have any? So I think we have. So we've put too much into the third fleet. So what we're going to do is take out 3 capital ships from there, put them into the first fleet, and that should fix that. Just make them an even 20. So as I mentioned before, 20 is generally a good number for what I like to have for my fleets. It's generally sort of just a good size, and it works quite well. So once our first fleet is repaired, these ships are repaired, these ones are built, and our third fleet here is built. We're actually going to rename that one while we're here into our second fleet. Second fleet, there we go. And so once we have the first and the second fleets ready and raring to go, I think we're going to send perhaps one of them or even both of them over here, depending on how many ships are in this area. So we can't actually see what's around this area. So they do have a lot of ships, so it's sort of quite possible that they may even have sort of 70 odd ships sort of sitting here. So I think it may actually be worth sending both our fleets over. So I think our empire should be pretty much okay just for a little while they sort of come over in here and take out them. So that shouldn't take them too long. So that's what we're going to do there. Our mining station is under attack from a single cruiser at the moment. So that one's being built. So our home fleets, we're going to send our home fleet back over here into the Lolna 1 mining station. Good, good. So they're going to go off there. So they've raided our base. I thought it was just being built though, so that's okay. Gift of 11,000 credits. These guys are quite generous. They obviously don't want us to attack them, but we are not a very friendly race, so we don't really care what they want, and we're going to attack them anyway. So our home fleet here, it looks like that ship sort of jumped out. Yep, so there it is, it's sort of leaving. So our home fleet is going to send them back off to repair. So there's still one ship in there that hasn't repaired, so we're going to do that. Which is okay. And more protection. Nope, nope. And a bunch of our frigates have finished. So part of our second fleet is done. Completed research and open trade network. But unfortunately, if we come in here and have a look, we can't build it because it's already been built. So we can build the high speed shipyard. So we're going to queue that up. So hopefully if that gets done quick enough, we will have our home planet will be able to pump out ships very, very quickly, which will be good. So we have some research free here. Where are we going to go to here? So countermeasures and target tracking are something I generally don't focus on until a little bit further in the game. I'll only generally put them on my big ships as well. So things like the capital ships and stuff, even though we started building those at the moment, I won't research those yet. We'll sort of get to those a little bit later. Scanners as well. I'm advanced resource exploration, so I don't particularly really need that too much at the moment. We're not going to go there. We've already got long range scanners. It's not really worth upgrading those two yet. Enhanced scanners, so sort of like a short range ones for ships, aren't really probably useful at the moment. We could go into colonization, but I think actually what we're going to do is grab up the next level of medicine and holographic entertainment, so upgrades for our recreation and medical centers, so which will just give us some bonuses on those things and bonuses for our our starports, or our colonies. Or our starport, were our colony, our homeworld there. So we'll queue up those, some capital ships. And these guys, I assume this is the same. Yep, so these guys are back again. So they're being an absolute pain in the backside. So we're going to send our home fleet over here. The mining station, yeah, so it's actually damaged, so it's being repaired. So they're going to raid this one as well. Might steal some credits. It's been boarded and captured actually. So our home fleet's not that strong, so if we lose a few more ships here, it may actually sort of be worth. They've all jumped out again, so yeah, those guys are really starting to annoy me. So if our home fleet sort of isn't working, or if we think it's not strong enough, we might actually sort of look at upgrading those. Look at upgrading our escorts, making them a little bit stronger. So Forgotten Nexus. We've discovered the Forgotten Nexus, ancient ruins for lost civilization. Investigate, yes, and we have found technology that advanced our understanding of nuclear supercharging. So that is some new reactors. Going to the research screen, energy here, so nuclear supercharging. So what are we researching at the moment? We've got fast mining up, and then we've got our two thrusters and our engines, and then we're actually going to queue up nuclear supercharging because we've got that sort of 50% complete already. So that'll be a nice quick tech research there. So you can see these guys moving off here because we've got our long range scanners, so that's okay, we'll let them go, but they are definitely being a pain in our backsides at the moment. So how's our troop recruitment going? So we've actually got all of those recruited, which is great, which is really good. So, and still an infantry unit there as well. So I'm going to queue up another 5, which I believe that was 5, wasn't it? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. And now that we have nearly our 2 fleets completed, so our second fleet's completed. We're just waiting this one ship to be repaired, so that should happen quite quickly. Once that's done, and these couple of ships here have been completed, we're actually going to go out and take out this pirate base down here. So we've had another, yep, so these guys are actually really starting to become a thorn in our side. So we're sort of starting to lose a few mining stations, so which is the reason we have to do something about these guys. So we could pay them off, but we've built a lot more ships, and see our cash flow is actually sort of in the negative now. So it's not to worry about because we've got a huge amount of cash on hand. So we're just going to actually let that drain for a while, and then we can do something about that later on. So I've researched fast mining, and then we're going to go up to our next level. Right, so our 2 fleets are ready. So what we're going to do is actually going to queue up this one to move out to the Outlaw Sanctuary, and this fleet as well. So even if they do have the vast majority of their ships here, we're going to have basically around 3,300, so around 6,600 firepower, which is more than what they have in total. So they've only got around 5,000 firepower. So that's okay for now. We can't really do anything about this mining station. We're not going to get there quick enough. But if we start losing a few more mining stations, which is definitely not something that we want to happen, we might actually look at beefing up our mining stations again. So that's okay for now. So our defense base has been completed over here, which is fine, and everything's looking good. So, just wait for our 2 fleets to move out and get down there. And what we might do in the meantime, so they've raided our mining station and looted 1985 credits. So that's okay. So that means actually they've just raided, they haven't taken over or destroyed it. So it's all good. So we found another source of Asala in one of our planets, which is quite good. So that's just generally a sort of quite a normal resource, I believe. So another mining station is under attack. So I'm actually going to send our home fleet out this way. Probably won't get there in time, but so that was this mining station. So I've researched high density alloys. So what was that? So I've got enhanced armor now. So what we're actually going to do, once we've, probably right at the end of this episode, once these 2 fleets have taken out here, right at the end of the episode, we might So they've raided our colony over here. So I didn't actually notice this ship coming in, which is a pain. But they're probably going to get taken out actually, or not. Yes, they probably are. Nope, they jumped away. Right, so another one of our planets is under attack, but this one is definitely not going to. This ship will get run away. So starting to definitely have some problems with pirates now. So it's sort of at this stage that they're going to have to start doing something about pirates, and still not going to be worth accepting all these. I don't think it's just sort of going to delay the inevitable and just sort of make them stronger, and we would have to deal with them at a later stage. So we've encountered another empire. So you guys have 6 colonies, 7 billion population, but not a whole lot in military strength, so that's okay. So actually no one likes us at the moment. So if you sort of look down here and you see actually sort of their statuses, and they're all angry or furious, and there's only one that's cautious, which is the Boscara Collective, and they're sort of around the 0. So what we might actually do is actually send them a gift, say 50,000 credits, to put their reputation up with us to positive. And now we can actually negotiate a trade proposal, and no, we can't, so that's not good. Are we interested in swapping? Nope. And right, so we're just going to leave that for the moment. So basically, if you're going to negotiate trade proposals, you can actually sort of swap territory maps and galaxy maps, but they have to be, you have to have a certain relationship with that empire before you can do that. So we sort of might work on them for a little while, seeing as they don't actually hate us like everybody else, and sort of build up that little bit of reputation, and we can see what they are and see what they've discovered, and discover a little bit more about the galaxy. So get rid of these 2. And okay, so we found a hidden fortress. Hidden fortress, shall we investigate? Yes. We found secret technology enabling us to build a unique super weapon. This is very, very interesting. So this is only sort of a once-off event. So I believe that no other empire will ever be able to get this weapon. So like a lot of times you've seen in previous episodes where we've investigated these locations and there's been nothing there. That's because another empire's gotten there first, or another pirate area has gotten there first. So we're the first ones to get here, and we can now build the Devastator Pulse. So this discovery will allow us to build military vessels of unrivaled power. So we're coming to our design thing here, and we're just going to have a look. Come down here and we have a look at the Devastator Pulse. So it's 170 size, so it is an absolutely enormous weapon. But it does 1200 damage, which is absolutely insane. It's a super area weapon. So if we just come in here and have a look learn about area weapons. Area weapons spread their effects over a wide area, sending out an omnidirectional shockwave that damages everything in a short radius around them. The blast wave spreads outwards from the epicenter, inflicting damage on all ships and bases in its path. Area weapons typically have higher power component requirements, and thus are usually found on large military ships or larger bases like spaceports or defensive platforms. So this is very interesting. So some stats we'll look at here. So it's 1200 damage. It's got 520 range, which is around about the same as our missiles. Uses a huge amount of energy. Speed, I'm not sure what that is. Maybe it's like reload. No, that's fire rate. So I'm not quite sure what speed is. So fire rate only fires once every 12 seconds, so it is very slow. Damage loss. So it loses 210 damage per 100 distance. So given that this is 1200, that's not too bad actually. So, but it does mean that once you get out to your maximum range of 520, so 2 5s are 10, you're actually going to be doing only, at the maximum range of 520, you're only going to be doing around 200 damage. So you're actually going to lose 1,050 damage. So you lose 1,050, you only have 150 damage left. So it's definitely something that, I can imagine what we might do later on is actually sort of just build a couple of these ships, send them out into the sort of the middle of enemy fleets, make sure everything's nice and close, and then we'll just fire it off. And if we lose the ship, then it's not really going to matter, because we should pretty much take out entire fleets nearly with this damage. So it's not something we're going to do for the moment, but it's really, really interesting. It's going to give us a lot of options later on, so that's quite exciting. So I'm just going to keep running the game here. So that's sort of another reason, sort of example of why it's worth having a lot of exploration ships. So we've still got 9, so that's really dropped a few, so we must have had a few destroyed. So what we're going to do is actually queue up a few more exploration ships. So we'll queue up, say, 4 1, 2, 3, 4, so another 4, so take us to 13. It's a good example of why it's nice to have lots of exploration ships, because you get out here and you can find a lot of these locations and things like that. So we're running at 30 minutes for the episode, but what we're going to do, if we come down here, and so there's hardly any ships around here, so there's just basically the medium spaceport, which is only 275 power, so it's going to fall quite quickly. But we're going to take out all of these mining stations as well. So you're going to do a little bit of damage to their economy, and they're definitely going to hate us after this. So we're just going to slow down the speed and watch the fireworks a little bit more. So we've destroyed a pirate base, and we've had a lost ship location revealed. So it's in sector C4, so it's going to be sort of perhaps a little bit out of our way. C4, and it's not too far away, so it's actually over in this independent colony over here. So we may actually send an exploration ship, which needs to refuel. So we're going to send them to refuel down here, and that's actually worked out really well. Pardon me. So they'll come down here and refuel, and then they should also find this lost ship if it hasn't already been found or taken. So we've just about to destroy this pirate base. We've got 1253 credits, which is good. Or destroying some ships, and now the base. So you can see here now the base is gone, and destroy these last couple of ships, which is good. No thanks, and offer us Empire contact, which we will take. So the Elliptical domain, and lots of really hard to pronounce empires in this game. I can't see them. Where are they? There we are, and Imperial. So they've got one colony of 10 billion population, which is quite a bit for one colony, and quite low military strength as well. They don't quite hate us as much as everybody else, which is quite good. So they naturally like us, which is interesting. So they actually may be our first ally that we've come across. And so we'll kind of keep an eye on them and see how they go. And once we find out where they are, so you're probably not going to be able to negotiate with them, nope. But we'll keep an eye on them, and they may be sort of our first allied empire. Yes. So now we've got our couple of fleets here. So what we're going to do is, as you can see, is just going to basically split up and jump around and take out all of these enemy installations around the system. So we'll leave them there to do that. And good thing to finish off the episode, we have built the Bacurus high-speed shipyards. So we've built that on our home planet, or our main planet. And it's a wonder that can only be built once in the galaxy. It provides us the following special benefits. It gives us colony development of plus 20%, so that's going to make our colony a little bit richer, which is good for us. And it gives us, which is the big thing, construction speed of plus 200% for only 10,000 credits maintenance a year. So if we have a look into our planet now, into Alarun 2, hasn't kicked in yet, but that speed level should jump up quite quickly. And basically it means that we're going to be able to construct a lot of colony ships and things like that quite quickly. So we've discovered an independent colony of Boscaris after destroying a pirate base. So where are they? So just have a look in here. So they're at C5. So I'm going to come out here and have a look into C5. So they're over here perhaps? No. So where are they located? C5, there should be an independent colony here somewhere. I can't see them at the moment. Unless they're in here. No, they're not. It could be here actually. It probably is, because we haven't actually explored this system, so that would be why it's not showing up yet. So I suspect there's an independent colony here, which may actually be able to colonize, which will be interesting. So we're coming in here and have a look just before we finish up. Potential colonies, we've got nothing really, so we can't colonize anything at the moment. Everything's too far away pretty much, which is unfortunate. There's some decent planets out there which we would like to colonize, but we can't, so it's okay. So what are we going to do next time around? Look, this sort of episode flew by, so I'm thinking we'll actually drop the speed next episode just sort of to 2 by speed, just because we sort of seem to miss a few things. So we haven't had a chance to build up our transport fleet yet, although all of our armoured forces are sitting there. We've destroyed this pirate base, so I've come in here and have a look just quickly. Iron Confederation, so they've actually lost quite a few ships and lost a lot of firepower, so we've actually sort of dealt them a blow. But they really do hate us right now, so negative 120. So they're going to attack us at any possible opportunity. So But hopefully they're not quite as close to us anymore, and they won't be such a problem. But if they are, we'll sort of have to go out and search for them and take them down again. But hopefully for now we've sorted that. So I'm going to put another cut in here, guys, and I'll see you all soon.